My name is Terry Tope, and I am here to give you the prep work for our Peony Reverse Applique class that we're going to be having this Saturday. This is the quilt or the block that we'll be working on. This is a reverse applique quilt block. With this video, you should have received the pattern, which you're going to print out. You are then going to go to your cutting mat with a rotary blade and a ruler and cut the vertical edge off of your pattern, both sides. And with Scotch tape, tape them together. See, they're taped in the center there. Tape them together with Scotch tape on the cut line, matching up all the lines. You'll notice this has a vertical dotted line and a horizontal dotted line. The image itself is about 9.5 inches from top to bottom and 9.5 inches side to side. I've also marked our center there. That's going to help us to center it in the 12-inch block that you've cut out of your fabric. The fabrics that you want to choose for this project, reverse applique, it works best with a very fine woven, tightly woven fabric. Looser cottons are a little bit more difficult to work with. You also want to choose something for that background fabric that's a solid. This is not a good project for those print-on prints that are lovely. This is a great project for solid fabrics or a very simple hand-dyed, which I have here. You also want to choose your peony fabric and your leaf fabric. These fabrics can be you can use any cotton, a pre-printed, anything like that for the fabrics because they're going to be on the back and we're going to sew to them. Your background fabric, in class, I'm going to refer to this as your top fabric because this is the fabric that's going to be on the top that we're going to cut through to reverse or see that applique fabric on the bottom. So once you've prepared the pattern, we are going to take our background fabric, fold it in half, and then in quarters to find that center mark. This center mark is what we are going to use to line up the center mark on our pattern. Somebody wants let out. Once we're going to take a second here and talk about the marking tools and the thread that would be a good idea for you to use for this project. So the marking tools that I like are the Clover white ironable pen or the Bowen chalk pencil. Now each one of these have kind of pluses and minuses. The Clover white marking pen is one of my favorites because it doesn't, when you draw on the fabric, it makes a nice white line that won't smudge or rub away. It will iron away though, so you have to be careful not to press this block until you're completely done with the applique. The chalk pen, the Bowen chalk pencil, leaves a nice, and I can actually demonstrate this, leaves a nice white line that's very easy to see. Hope you can see that. See how nice that white line is? But this is also a white line that might smudge and mark away. The Clover pen draws on wet. I'll draw a couple of lines here. And then, as it dries, it slowly appears, and you can see that is a faint line. So if you're going to be handling the project of light, you might want to choose that white Clover pen, or you might want to, let me see if I can get it a little darker. There we go. Now you can see that a little bit better. Or that Clover pen, or that Bowen pencil. So to mark our pattern, we've got the center of our block where I did the little. We'll find the center of our pattern and put a little pin. These are also the little pins I discussed in the supply list. These are about 3/4 of an inch and they have a little glass ball, but if you can see that, it's a teardrop. And what I like about it is if your thread happens to get caught on it, the teardrop pulls right off, as opposed to a little flat or a ball that has more of a sharp edge in it. So while I've got this up here, I am going to turn it to the back because we're actually going to pin this from the back. And I'm going to line up that dotted line with the horizontal and vertical folds in my fabric. And I can also, this is my light box, turn that on to see those lines a little bit better and line those up with the folds. And I'm going to pin from the back. This will keep my sharp little edges of my pins away from my elbows. And you only need one top bottom and one side to side to be able to then see your pattern through your fabric. Now I'm going to tilt this up just a little bit. Hopefully you are able to see a very faint line of that pattern through my darker fabric. A good tip that I will give you, we have to have the lights on obviously because of this video, but if I were to turn the lights down really low, I would be able to see that pattern through my dark top fabric a lot easier. I'm going to then take my pen and trace, outline each of the petals and the flower and stem section of this peony block. And I will turn the light off of this a minute. I'm kind of using my hands to hold down that fabric. As I go around, I'm actually tracing exactly on the pattern line. I'll draw another one here real quick. Your goal is to get this all drawn and completed by Saturday morning. So this is your homework, is to get your pattern transferred onto the right side. I think I failed to mention that. We've got the right side up of our pattern. Now I'm going to turn my light box off, and you can see how you can definitely see my pattern there coming right along. Draw another one here for you. I'm using nice, firm, making sure that I draw it right on that line. If you go off a little, it's okay. If you get the curves, it's a little okay. You just want to make sure that you're as accurate as you can be, because this drawn line is going to be the edge of our applique, what we turn. And you can see this doesn't take very long. Just take your time. I'm going a little bit fast, but I've of course done these a few times. And I'll turn the light box off so you can hold this up so you can see. I've got, in a matter of a short little amount of time, I've got 4 leaves drawn on there. Okay. What you also want to have ready for your class on Saturday morning would be a little collection of those small pins. I'm not sure where the little plastic box they came in disappeared to them. You want to have some applique thread. This is a 50 weight cotton from Aurifil, but any 50 weight cotton will work as long as it matches your top fabric, which is my navy blue, as close as possible. You also want to have on hand some basting thread, and that basting thread can be any thread, just a nice contrast to your background. So because we're going to pull it out and it's easier to see if we've got it in a light color. You want to get a basting needle because these your applique needles, which I love the straw milliners number 10 or number 11 milliners. They're nice long needles, but you want to use your favorite applique needle. If you've had these, give it a hand. If we were in class, I'd let you try one because they're great needles. Also, with those straw needles or the milliner needles, you want to maybe have a needle threader on hand. My favorite scissors. My favorite scissors are from, sorry about the clock. My favorite scissors are Karen K. Buckley. These little red ones are my actual favorite, but these work also. Great ones also. So that you have nice little sharp to the point applique needles. Don't need the duckbill ones. These are definitely more of a embroidery needle or a small sharp to the point. Great needles. So I think that is everything that you need to be prepared for the class on Saturday morning. It isn't a lot of supplies that you'll need. And again, your homework would be to complete drawing that block and be ready to have a great class. Have a nice evening, ladies. Bye-bye.